What's up, y'all? It's me, V. Vanilla the Star Bunny. So this video is meant to be a video about where I've been. Some of you guys are probably confused because a while ago I just uploaded that Chromacopia video. That's actually just a re-upload. That's something that I did before. So, pretty much for this video, there's gonna be like less tech stuff, so no like model and no background. It's just, some gameplay in the background, so this shit's about to be real. Nah, I'm kidding. But anyways, so far I've been kind of absent from YouTube for a while. It's mostly because I'm trying to start some bigger projects for YouTube itself. I have like a video that I'm working on. Gonna have some guest appearance and all that other stuff. Constructing that is taking a while, mostly because having the energy to do it is just it becomes hard. It becomes hard not because of the task itself, but it becomes with a whole bunch of different things that allow you to have motivation or whatever. So, yeah. Honestly, when it comes to me recently, I've been kind of like deep down. And what it means to be deep down is like, well, I guess from my perspective in this situation, it's like you kind of like dig into the point where you're like questioning everything. And getting to that point kind of sucks because it just makes you question like what's your purpose in trying to do the things you want to do. Honestly, there's been some people who've been in my life and some people that left my life. And honestly, when I was a kid, it was like, I know this thing happens, but when you're older, you finally like realize the impact of these kind of things. And so pretty much, I've been thinking about people who I wish were still in my life. Later, I end up finding out that there's other people who are in the same situation like me, where that they want someone to still be there, at least in some sense, but like it's hard because sometimes at the end of the day, things work better separate than together. When you have one thing, you have to separate this other thing. Like, for an example, like you can give your all, you can give your everything to someone, and at the end of the day, they may or may not be able to share it the same way towards you. Sometimes whenever you argue with someone, sometimes, you're either both right and wrong, either in one way or another. Or sometimes in some situations, sometimes you're both right and wrong. And honestly, when it comes to that, it sucks because at the end of the day, in some way, you're kind of just attention seeking. And I'm not gonna lie. Personally, I do feel like I am kind of an attention seeker, which is why I kind of create content and all that other stuff, because I also want to be seen. But when it comes to this kind of sense, when it comes to people outside of, all this creation stuff, it's like you want someone to be there to just admire the things you do in order for you to feel like you have more purpose with the work that you do. Sometimes you can know people, and sometimes, regardless of how many months, days, years, or decades have passed, regardless of how much you've changed, they will see you as the same person regardless. And at the end of the day, you just got to realize that you don't have to prove to those people that you have changed. You mostly have to prove it in the way that of your actions itself. For an example, I feel like ever since I started to do YouTube again, back when my character was all yellow, I felt like I was more naive and reckless, and overall it's just stupid in a way. I feel like now, as I've gotten older, over the years, I feel like I've been able to be more realistic, more laid back, and more well-grounded. I try hard to be sometimes like the best me as possible, but I know that there's many times where I break this like goal that I have to be the best person I can be. It's mostly because the one thing that kind of pushes my buttons are just stupid people. Sometimes dumb people make me revert back to how I was. But overall, sometimes you need some obstacles in order to go over some things in your life. So, yeah, that's pretty much where I've been, mostly in this weird headspace, mostly just trying to, I guess, move on, which I guess is the best way to say this. Yeah, that's all I got. So, thank you for anyone who's watching. I'll be uploading a more lengthier video in the future. I just kind of want to upload this for the sake of clarity. Yeah.